Cashiers of Reddit, what products make you silently judge the persons who buy them? Ex-cashier of 5 years here. After a while you don't notice and it all becomes the same because you're so familiar with the items your store carries. Only time I have made an extreme judgment based on items purchased was when a man came in and purchased peanut butter, dog treats, condoms, lube and rope. Not even joking. Yeah, that's the condom game. You try to buy the stuff that'll freak out the cashier the most. Every time I buy lube, I always get this feeling that the cashier thinks I am buying it to have butt sex. Same feeling I get whenever I buy double-ended dildos. Simple solution. Just be like, I'm buying this to lubricate my nice while I jerk off. Little tip, we don't. We just want you to buy it and hurry up so we can help the next person in line. Joke's on them, I use butter for my butt fetishes and nobody knows. Nobody. One of our customers buys anywhere from 25 to 32 bottles of laxatives a week. Every week and not the oral kind either. Maybe he cares for a giant family of surprisingly healthy heroin addicts. Now I wonder if those laxatives have some sort of secondary purpose, like unclogging sinks or being a really effective plant fertilizer or something. I didn't judge, but it's a great story. I saw a guy in the condom aisle looking absolutely baffled. I'm a pharmacist and went to help. With an inward sigh, some people have no idea how to use them. He said, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There are so many. I've been fixed for almost 20 years. But my boy's going to college, and I don't want him bringing STDs or any babies home with him. He got really excited when I told him about spermidine and bought 5 to 6 dozen count boxes. That's a good dad. Okay, quick story. I have an ultra-conservative Asian mom, who never ever even mentioned sex, ever. When I got out of boot camp to my first duty station, everyone was getting care packages from home, cookies, civilian clothes, etc. I got one from my mom. It was about 100 condoms, assorted boxes, with a note, please be safe, and we will never talk about this package, love mom. I've been thinking that maybe when my kids are old enough, he'll put some condoms in a drawer somewhere and say that they are there and they can take them if they need them. He'll also do some other informative type stuff, but I figure this is a pretty good idea. Sorta related, but I have a teenage daughter and I wanted to get her some condoms to keep in her room, stretch over her arm, make into balloon animals, whatever. My plan was to get the most popular brand on my own and toss them into her room like a grenade, then run away yelling, ask me if you have any awkward questions. But my husband took the unkindest cut years ago, so I was totally out of date. I go to the pharmacy, explain what I'm after to the pharmacist, but she doesn't use condoms either, been trying to conceive. So she turns to the teenager working behind the counter with her and says, hey, what kind of condom is popular these days? The girl turns bright red and starts stammering, how would I know? She was super embarrassed. The pharmacist says, well, you cash more people out than me. I figured you may know what the most popular is. The assistant immediately called down, and we all had a laugh about it. Poor girl, thinking for a moment her boss is calling her out on her sex life. The I've been fixed really got me. Freshman year of high school, I was a cashier at a local grocery store. There was an upscale organic cupcake boutique in town that sold their cupcakes for about $4 each. It was ridiculous, but people still bought them. Anyway, the owner would come in every other week and buy about 20 boxes of Betty Crocker cupcake mix and frosting. She must have had like a 2000% rate of return on those things. Edit. The cupcake boutique has since gone out of business, and the lady was a bitchy soccer mom in her mid-30s, so I doubt she was the confession on here, but it's interesting to know how common this apparently is. I seem to recall a confession here once where a woman told about how she made cupcakes at home with cupcake mix. All her friends kept telling her how good they were and she should start a business, so she did. Now she was scared shitless that someone would discover her secret. Literally every detail about this story also happened to me. Are you me? Judge her lol cupcake mix from a wholesaler is pennies a pound. She could get in so much trouble with the USDA for her false organic claims. I cashiered at Home Depot. Had a dude in his mid-20s pull up to my register with rope, duct tape, cleaning gloves, tarp, bleach, Febreze, cookies, bucket, sponges. I rung him up. I didn't even notice what he'd purchased until he came back in. He just said, dude, I could be planning a murder and you didn't even care. What the fuck? I just lost $20. Then he went to return everything except the cookies. True story. Edit. FFS, yes, Home Depot sells cookies. They're like right next to all the chips and sodas. They're those 98-cent grandma cookies that come in packs of 2. Them bitches is straight fee. Real murderers use self-checkout. Sir, I make minimum wage. They do not pay me enough to care about what you are doing with that rope and tarp. Maybe you can confirm this rumor. My friend one told me that Home Depot has a system in place that will flag suspicious combinations of items. For example, if you try to buy ask of the materials for an explosive device, cannon, or some other destructive device, that the system will flag the purchase and the cashier, supposedly, will not let the transaction go through. Is my friend full of shit? Once, at a Walmart in upstate NY, my buddy and I went through the register one after the other. My purchase? A 12-gauge boating flare gun. His? A box of 12-gauge shotgun shells. Cashier didn't even bat an eye. We chickened out ultimately because we were afraid the dinky plastic gun would blow apart along with our hands. That's annoying as fuck. I'd like no returns. Have fun with your murder. I got judged by a cashier once. I was working in a welding and fabrication facility at the time as a repair guy. Since I wasn't one of the welders, I would often get tasked with whatever needed doing. The particular job at the time required ultrasonic testing of bends made in some tubing to ensure proper wall thickness. We had one tube of ultrasound gel. Sure enough, the tube got knocked off the table and run over by a forklift. The job was very time critical and we need to do the ultrasounds now. A good substitute for ultrasonic gel is KY. I grabbed a fistful of petty cash and rushed over to a nearby grocery store and grabbed every tube of KY they had. I then ran up to the cashier, who then rang up tube after tube after tube. I was in such a rush that I really hadn't thought about the normal use of KY. As she was looking at me oddly and silently ringing up my purchase, I said something like, "It has been crazy at work today." The look on her face was priceless. Halfway out of the parking lot I realized what happened. We all had a good laugh about it at work and I had the nickname of KY for a few days. I actually did laugh out loud at this. Smile. A Vietnamese lady came in a day after Valentine's Day to buy candy. She bought hundreds of bags. I made a joke about how the dentist bill must be insane, and she told me how she sends the candy to orphan homes in Vietnam because they don't have candy there apparently. Don't judge a book by its cover, guys. Edit. A few words. Edit 2. Stop saying it's BS. The story is true. Whether the lady lied or not, however, I don't know. But I'd like to believe that she is just a good person. I know a guy that purchases cases of water-based lube every other week to donate to homeless shelters. Every time me or my family go back to Vietnam, we always send over a bunch of American candy over because the kids love them. Reese's, Snickers, Skittles, they always enjoy them. We also always send over fruit like cherries, apples, and oranges because they use a lot of pesticides and stuff to make the fruits bigger. Basically, they enjoy anything American. I always donate my old clothes and stuff as well. I've had Vietnamese candy. It tasted how ladybugs smell. I worked as a cashier at Kmart once and it was like my third week there, and then this couple came into my line. They were buying lube, tissues and condoms. As awkward as it was, I had to ring them up. Then out of the complete blue the guy asks me, "Hey, you should ask me what I'm going to do with those." My supervisor turns and looks me dead in the eyes as a literal ball of sweat drips from my brow. I'm awestruck. I continue to ring them out in silence, then I say I'd rather not. They both laugh at me and I just continue to ring them out. Heavy judgment because the chick was really hot. Kmart was my first job. I loved when Mexican dudes would come into my line with multiple packs of man thongs. Other than that, that fucking job sucked. Hey, you should ask me what I'm going to do with those. Losing the condom game. The goal of the game is to place 3 items in front of a cashier that will cause the dirtiest look, most awkward question, or just plain horrify a person. One of the items has to be a box of condoms. Their choices were totally pedestrian. You're supposed to choose really crazy things, or things that make offensive implications. The only time I really judged someone was when he came in and found a perfume he liked and bought 2. I said, "It would probably be a good idea if you have 2 women in your life, thinking wife, mother, daughter, etc., to get them something different." He said, "Oh, no, one is for my wife, the other for my girlfriend. If they wear the same perfume I don't have to worry about my wife smelling my girlfriend's perfume on me." I mean, that is smart, but it's also shitty. Once I went into a Victoria's Secret to buy a Valentine's gift for my girlfriend. The cashier asked me, "Would you like to join the Bra of the Month Club?" I asked her what it was, and she said, not knowing if I was married or not, "You get 1 bra shipped to you every month which you can give to your wife. Or girlfriend." I said, "Can I get 1 for each of them?" And she looked at me kind of horrified until I started laughing. I think he answered you back for being a smartass. That is shitty, but wow, that's pretty damn smart if you asked me. He was definitely fucking with you. The only people I silently judge are the ones trying to make up a reason for me to not silently judge them. So what if you eat that whole cake by yourself? Live a little. My old roommate used to get grocery gift cards from his mom every other week. It was her way of taking care of him and ensuring he got a good meal. Only he used them to buy the same thing every time. One steak, whatever cut was on sale, a 12-pack of orange soda, and a half-sheet birthday cake. Best comment in this thread so far. So you're buying 6 boxes of Gushers in the Godfather collection? Your night sounds way better than mine and probably most others.